Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvadaungam Ganapate Namaha. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Deva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sarva Mangala Mangalle Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namosute. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shri Hanumate Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 18th of April 2025. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to Bhagavan residing in the heart of every single being. With that prarthana, we are continuing to examine Vivekchudamani, verse number 77, and to understand the intricacies of what Shankaracharya Ji is trying to convey to all of us. I want to talk about dismantling bondage. How is the bondage to be dismantled actually? This is interesting. So Advait Vedanta in general recognizes that bondage, meaning bandha, B-A-N-D-H-A, that's the word bandha. Bandha means bondage to the samsara. Samsara is this world of multiplicity that is there. The Jivatma is bound to the external objects, not because the binding is coming from the objects. No. The binding is coming from the Jivatma's reactive engagement with them. Let's be clear. It's a reaction inside our system in relation to those objects. It's a reactive engagement, and it is coming out of Ajnan. So there's two things to keep in mind. There's Ajnan, and that Ajnan leads to reactive engagement, and that's what creates bandhan, bondage. Alright, this should be clear. Now, so a systematic path in Advait Vedanta is actually a systematic path for a sadhak, for sadhana, to do sadhana, aiming at neutralizing the Jivatma's perceived binding, neutralizing the perceived binding power. The power, the energy that we have is actually getting bound inside the objects of the senses. So sadhana in Advaita is to neutralize that binding power. So the objects exist, we exist, our interactions exist, our duties exist, but the binding does not exist. That is the difference. That is our goal. That is the goal in this particular verse, 77. So this strategy, because it's a strategy, it is a way of proceeding. This involves profound internal reorientation. Point number 1. Point number 2, it requires cultivating specific insights and mental disciplines designed to dismantle the structure of adhyasa, superimposition. Point number 2, I'll explain all of this. And the goal is to reveal the ever-present reality of the Atman and the Brahman. The ever-present, it's already there. That's who we are. It's already there. It's the revelation of what is. Atma is not something to be obtained in the framework of time. It's not like, we work somewhere and get a paycheck and we get a reward or we get a result. It's not like that. It is the realization of what already is. Right? So let's look at these points carefully. There is a profound internal reorientation. Generally, how do people live in this world? They live based on their own limited ahankar, the vasanas and things like that. They're just living on that basis. Living in terms of the excitation of the senses. More excitation of the senses, more I'll be happy. That's how it tends to go. Please remember, we're not denying the experience of the senses. But the profound reorientation, which is internal, it has to do with bringing our vision in alignment with the state of unbounded vision. Unbounded vision is what? Unbounded vision is where we can see the world and hear all the five senses, seeing, hearing, touch. Its experiences are there. Experiences are waves on the ocean of consciousness. They are called taranga. Taranga means waves. That's all they are. That's all they are. For example, if a person is, let's say, having, a Diet Coke, 20-ounce Diet Coke, right? With a Impossible Burger and French fries from Burger King. Let's look at a very simple example. You'll connect this now with Vedanta. Impossible Burger plus French fries plus the Diet Coke, $7.99 something like that. You pay the price. Okay. So you go to the drive up to the Burger King restaurant and you order it. See, the driving up is one beginning of the experience. Ordering and then getting the food is another experience. The whole thing continues. Then you pull up into the parking lot. You're in a hurry to go to work or something. So you have your lunch right in the car. And then it's done. And then you take all that stuff and throw it in the wastebasket. The whole thing lasts maybe half an hour. What is that? It's a wave. It's a tarang. Wave of experience. That's all it is. It is not an eternal experience. It is not a continuous experience. It is not an experience that is to be expanded further and further. So what is the profound reorientation with this experience? The profound reorientation is that the actions that are performed, from driving up to the restaurant and ordering and then getting them food and eating the food and swallowing the food, and that entire anubhav is described in the Gita. Burger King is described in the Gita, believe it or not. Sounds crazy, right? Om Brahmarpanam Brahmahavir Brahmaguna Brahmanautam Brahmaivitena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. See, when we hear verses like this, we immediately think about temples and holy places and all that. In Hindu community generally. We don't think about driving up to McDonald's or Burger King or Taco Bell or something, that this is also Brahmarpanam. Has anybody thought about that? I'd like to meet such a person. No, we don't. But it is. That's the point. That the realization of Brahman is everywhere, in everything. It's not only in temples and all that. That's fine. Those places are important. They're holy places. We want to break the division. Remove the division. Everything is mandir. There's not a place where God doesn't exist. There's not a place where the Brahma Vidya doesn't exist. It exists in everything, in everyone, in every situation. And these experiences that, like the one I just described, having a Diet Coke and an Impossible Burger and French fries, that is Brahman. Do you ever think about that? That is Krishna also. That is Ram also. That is Mandir also. Forget the thing about Burger King or McDonald's. Think this is a temple. Can you do it? हमारे मन में ये नहीं आता. कैसे आ सकता है? If we're going to a Mahalakshmi temple here, if Sachin is going to a Mahalakshmi temple and says, wow, this is Bhagwan ka darshan. If I'm actually at the drive-up window with a cashier and the person is handing me with the food, can I see that person as Mahalakshmi? Can I see that person as Krishna? If I cannot, I'm lost. Forget about Brahm Vidya. Chhod do. Nahi milega. Brahm Vidya is everywhere. In everything. In everyone. In every situation. Because it is Anubhav. This is what Shankaracharya ji is teaching. This is what Vivekchudamani is actually teaching. Vivekchudamani doesn't mention any temples, by the way. Not that you shouldn't go to temple. Don't misunderstand. Please be very careful. Go to the mandirs. Do everything. But that is the beginning. It's not the end. You are the temple. You are the mandir. This profound internal reorientation is the whole ball game. Hum jaate hai, wherever you go, that is temple, that is realization, that is enlightenment. There are so many bhajans and kirtans on this point. In Gujarati, in the Nishkuranand Swami Ji कहते हैं, संता चाले त्यारे हूँ चालू रे, संता जुए त्यारे हूँ जू रे. There's this whole series like this, where the enlightened saint, whatever the enlightened saint looks at, God is looking through, God is walking through, God is, God is present. Paramatma is present through the mind, body, senses, etc. That if the French fries are too cold, we won't get upset at the person. See these stupid things that we're doing, in life, getting small thing, make it so much entanglement and problems are there. Remove the change that this is also temple. Mandir hai, Bhairav ka mandir hai. Think of it that way, because people say, how can you think of Burger King as a temple when there's meat being cooked and everything? That's okay. Don't worry about that. You have to go beyond all that thing to have Brahma Drishti. Brahma Drishti mein sab Brahma hi hai. Everything. Of course there is Vidhi Nisheth. Of course, I'm not suggesting one should, do just anything and everything. I don't mean, it's a question of vision. That nothing exists without the realization, without the existence of consciousness. And when our orientation changes, this profound reorientation, which is exactly what Sri Krishna is teaching throughout the Gita, which is exactly what all the scriptures are teaching. I won't go through all that. We don't have time. There's no end to that. It's an actual reorientation. So this is the sadhana for today. Very simple sadhana. Any place you go for shopping, as soon as you enter into the grocery store, go into a restaurant, see a family member, this is only a mandir. Mandir hi hai. Remove the division. Krishna ka hi mandir hai, church hi hai, gurudwara hi. Don't keep the division in the mind. And then interact as you normally would. But internally, change the vision. See, take that Burger King example. Somebody drives up. Generally, what we are going with our own vasa. I want to have this food. I'm hungry. I'm giving you, $8, and you better give me the right food. And if the food is not right, and this is not, some problem is there, then I'm going to be upset about it because my vasanas are not fulfilled. This is not Brahma Vidya. Ye ahankar ka hi sab prakriya hai. Now, how does it change? Go up and just in the vision. Let's say you've got an individual who is a male 22-year-old person who is giving you the bag. Immediately see this is Bhagavan Krishna. Can you see it? Try it. See what happens. See the magic that happens. Do you think Krishna is not there? Krishna is only in the temples and with the basari and the flute? Kitna agnyan hai? That's a maha agnyan to think that is the truth only. That is not that is a beginning only. That person at the window is also Krishna. That dog that you see on the road is also Krishna. That any lady you see, that is also Mahadevi. Remove all of this division. This is called profound reorientation. And the moment we are in that state, हमारा जो मन है, the mind senses, this is indescribable. ये एक अलौकिक दृष्टि है. Is it difficult? Of course it's not difficult. This is the most straightforward thing. But we have never tried to do this. If we try to do it and do it consistently, how much does it cost? It doesn't cost anything. It's a change of vision. Vision without division is transformation. Everything and every place and everyone is nothing but Bhagavan. Is nothing but Brahman. This is the fantastic teaching of Adi Shankaracharya Ji. Adi Shankaracharya Ji is an incarnation of Bhagwan Shankar. And this is what he is trying to awaken. Can you imagine what this world will be like if even 5% of the people begin to have this? There will be profound changes. Our ethics, our morality, so many things are changed right away. कितना प्रेम आता है इसमें. This is nothing but love. You would not get into a divisiveness with another person. And by having this kind of vision, it directly impacts the other person also. This is the power that we all have, but it is being eaten up voraciously by our ego, by our vasanas, by our agnan, by our division. And this is the whole idea of perceiving the binding power and changing that binding power into liberated power. See this point. I'm only just going through only 2 lines of this. I mean, there's just, it's not the quantity of material. It's not how much material Sachin can, you can talk about these things for a whole lifetime. It's not about how much material is talked about. It's about realization. And try it even for one day. Try it even for 1 hour. Wherever you go, whoever you see Paramatma first. And then interact. But don't lose that vision. Keep that vision alive and interact. Our mind transforms. This is sadhana. This is Vivekchudamani. This is the Gita. This is Jnaneshwari. This is the Bible in the New Testament. It doesn't matter what you call it. It's literally that simple. It's literally that simple. There's nothing complicated in this. You see the magic. Will not tell you what happens if you try to do this. आपको ही अनुभव होगा कि ये क्या है. You may not have heard this before. Maybe some people have. We tend to think of God in temples and religious books and in whatever, tilaks and malas, and that is a beginning. It's necessary. We have to have that as a beginning. That's what the concept of ashram is. That's the concept of a mandir. That's the concept of a gurudwara. Except whatever, it's a beginning. It's not the end, folks. Not by any standard. People say we go for 2 hours satsang somewhere, bhajan kirtan mein jate thoda. Just that's fine. Now evolve. So when we are done here right now, it continues. The divinity doesn't stop, but our interaction changes. The way we are interacting changes. This is a master key. So when we do this now, just one more point. What happens here? That insight and mental discipline naturally comes about. Our mind automatically gets disciplined. You don't have to think about developing good virtues for another person when you're seeing that person as only Paramatma. Automatically the ethics is going to be there. You don't have to even think about it. Automatically it is there. And the end, the real goal, the adhyasa is removed. That this is only the same consciousness in this form. Kitni sundar baat hai. What more can be said? It's amazing stuff, folks. Let's stop here for now. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurumedeva Sarvakarishu Sarvada Om Ganganapate Nama Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Deva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guru Namaha Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Gnana Murtim Dvandatitam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvamasyadi Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalavachanam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Triguna Rahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Om Divilingaya Namaha ऊर्ध्वलिंगाय नमः आनंदलिंगाय नमः द्वादश ज्योतिर्लिंगाय नमो नमः ओम ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुंडाय विचे ओम ग्लौं हुं क्लीं जुं सः ज्वालय ज्वालय ज्वल ज्वल प्रज्वल प्रज्वल ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुंडाय विचे ज्वल हं सं लं क्षं फट् स्वाहा ओम दुर्गे दुर्गे रक्षिणी ठ ठ स्वाहा ओम श्री राधा कृष्णार्पणमस्तु ओम ह्रीं स्वाहा.